Hey, it's Willie Armelini with Flowers and Scents with your floral industry buzz. Okay, today I'm going to interview Alice Gibbons of Carlstedt. She's the president of Carlstedt's, which is a 13-store chain here in the Southeast. And I've been looking forward to this because Carlstedt is a company I've known forever. And I thought it would be really important to get this in our archive here. So without further ado, Alice Gibbons. Miss Alice Gibbons, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm really
And how
good.
is your harmonica?
My harmonica is just fine.
Perfect.
I play them all the time, and it's in the introduction of this video that we're going to do.
Absolutely.
So,
I
welcome to
love
Flowers
it.
and Scents. I've been looking
Thank
forward to this
you.
for a couple of reasons. Carlstedt
Mhm.
and I go back a long way.
Wow.
As far back as I can remember, frankly, I've been writing, I can actually spell it. Um,
Which is
and
great.
it's because I wrote it so many times on paper and
Hmm.
doing all that. And I was thinking, I said, did I ever really meet Oscar G? And I'm thinking, I bet he was dead by the time I was around. So I don't know. When did Oscar G pass? Do we know?
He, goodness, I did know. I can't recall it right quick, but I know that next year will be 100 years.
Okay.
And the first location was in Louisville.
In Louisville.
And I think they got as many as I have all the history out on the website, and you would think that
Yeah.
I've already dedicated all this to memory, but I haven't. I would say 22 maybe
Okay.
locations. Um, and then Mr. Belden ended up being the majority stockholder.
Yes.
So and
Yeah.
then we kept Carlstead's when JC and I purchased it. We kept Carlstead's because, that's what we bought.
You
So
bought them. Well,
carrying it forward.
let's back up a little bit because all
Yeah.
right. So Mr. Bill Belden and I, he and I go back a long way, and he was my contact or our contact at Carlsted's forever. Um,
Yeah.
and a jolly fellow. I liked him a lot. He was just a
So
nice
great.
man.
Very sweet.
Yeah, a very nice man. And then suddenly, all along the way, this lady named Alice shows up, Alice Gibbons, and I'm like, where did she come from? And I met JC a few times, and you and I
Hmm.
obviously have met several times. But I was like,
Yeah.
what? So did you work there, or how did you end up and owning the place?
Yeah. So I was in Monroe, Louisiana, and I worked in the Monroe store. I started there as a driver in 1994. So wild and crazy, I know. But and then I ran this store for probably 20 plus years before I bought the company.
Well, that explains that because I wasn't quite sure. I figured you must have come
Hmm.
from the inside there because
Oh yeah.
who else would take a risk like that and then buy a company like that?
Yeah. That's
Well,
right.
yeah, good for you. And now I think you're because JC retired, so you're sort of holding the reins, I guess now, huh?
That's it. Yes. Yeah.
And I always wondered about Flower General. So I was thinking,
Hmm.
it's like, what is this Flower General thing all about? I
Yeah.
know you've been advertising it and talking about it, and I see it on your
Yeah.
T-shirts and whatever, and I'm like, what is this
Hmm.
Flower General? And now I've had the opportunity to go to Flower General website, so I do
Yeah.
got a little bit of history there. So I do know a little bit. That's sort of your next level of customer service, I guess, right? Is that about
Yes, sir. Yes. It's our e-commerce.
it's your e-com?
Um, Short story. My brother, Mike, who you've seen him at the show,
Hmm.
he uh he graduated here locally in Monroe. This is where we're from, West Monroe. Um he graduated, it was called NLU. It's now ULM, which is a local college here, and he graduated in IT, like he did computers and stuff. And I remember talking to him many years ago, and I was like, I mean, people just like to. go online and buy things. And so he really helped me with it. And so we took pictures and did some things, and we did a lot of sales right out of Monroe here. And we showed Mr. Belden and Miss Emily what we had done. And it was birthed probably 20 plus years ago, 20, probably 22 years
The
ago.
beginning of the internet,
And
so yeah.
isn't that the truth? And so we did that for a while. And then when JC and I purchased the company, we said, okay, that's going to be our farm direct program. And so that was going to be our extra store, and it would be farm direct. And we did a whole lot of things, and then it just evolved. So it's when people say, I hear people say, it's a it's a youngster. I'm like, it's not. It's time to get out of the house and go to school and pay your own way.
I thought it
So
might have been, I thought maybe you had bought a Dollar General store or something and just kept, changed the name, kept the general, and just put flour up there or something.
why not, right? We have Shaq.
All
He
right,
is the
so look,
general.
you have 13 stores in 4 states
Mhm.
now, right? Um, and I'm sure,
Actually, five. So we have no, we have Kentucky, we have South Carolina, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, and Georgia. Six.
yeah,
Yeah,
it says 6 on the website.
yeah, crazy. Yeah.
Um, and with a company, a wholesale florist with 13 stores in several
Mhm.
states, no doubt all these boys have been knocking on your door. All these Delaware Valley and Mayish and who knows, no doubt they've been knocking on the door. And you're still standing, so good for you.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you. Thank
We
you.
we like this old-fashioned, if you will, Southern hospitality. That's what it is
Hmm.
because that's what Carlstedt has always, for me, has always been sort of known for
Hmm.
that Southern hospitality. And I'm sure in Louisiana, there, I'm sure if I showed up there, there'd be crawdads somewhere.
Absolutely. I'll take you. Come anytime. They're kind of still small right now, though.
Oh yeah.
I say wait a little bit. Wait just about another week or two.
All right. Well, with that in mind, so where do you see what's going on? There's a lot of things going on in the world. Obviously, we can't control, but
Hmm.
wholesaling, as I've written about, just coming from WUSA, and I was sort of critical of WUSA in the sense that they need to get more wholesalers to show up there. I was happy you guys were there,
Yeah.
but it's a challenge for WUSA and probably for the wholesaling industry in general. How are you
Hmm.
feeling about all that?
Well, I feel number one, the industry's changing, and I've said that because that's all I ever heard when I came into the industry is that it's changing. And I'm like, okay, it's been changing for now. I'm what, 30 plus years in, and it's always changing.
Yep.
And you just mentioned about the hospitality. I think it goes back to the mindset, and it goes back to relationships. And building the relationships. There are not a lot of wholesalers left. I feel like that's for many reasons. I feel the I cold call wholesales. Okay. I know what a wholesaler struggles with. I know what they deal with day in and day out. We do it times 13 all the time. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, most of the wholesalers that are going out is because the kids don't want it.
Lack of succession. Yep.
It really is. And I also think that's for many reasons. I feel, we did really good in giving our kids things that we never had and better than what we ever had, which is the way I think things evolve anyway.
Yep.
However, we didn't do so great in work ethics, and if you don't work you don't eat, and those types of things. And I feel like you know a lot of the younger generation just feels it's there's an entitlement there, and that's not what it's all about. I mean, it takes decades really to earn trust, and then it just takes I mean, just one look to lose it. And that's what we don't want. And so we continue with the relationships. I also think that you have Amazon and you have all of this, gratification like right now. And in wholesale, we used to need 20,000 square foot of space. And today you don't basically go back to Amazon or UPS. I mean, I can order something right now and I can have it delivered, by the time I get home from work. It'll beat me to my house.
Yeah.
And now we don't do that anymore. I still feel though, there's a little part of me that feels, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I think businesses do get in where we are today. I think um, we need to be about like what's happening with you, customer, what's happening with you, wholesale. Can I help you? Can we collaborate? I feel like there's so many applications. I mean, we have Flower General, but we're one of the only wholesalers. Well, we're one of the few, I'll say that, because I don't know if we're the only, but um, our system is ours. We have our own point of sale, we have our own e-commerce. At the same time, we also have our own issues like any other thing, a Shopify or anything like that. And so with the technology changing the way that it has, I'll never ever not love it. I love technology and I'll always love it, even though it understands us more than we understand it, is what I also think. But I think the industry is going to continue to change. But with that, what I was going back to is the more things change, the more they do stay the same. We still deliver. We still seek your business. The grocer was a really big thing back 30 years ago, and it went away. And then now here it's back again. And I wonder, depending on how people purchase and what their habits are, I'm not sure it won't shrink down again. And then we'll see another influx of wholesalers coming back in. My hope is for the wholesaler. I hear people lovingly tell me that, I am the middleman, and I lovingly tell them, so is Jesus Christ, but you're not getting rid of him. So you do need that structure in the business. And like I said, I have a great team. JC was probably the best business partner I ever could have had,
Mm.
other than Bill Belden himself. Mr. Bill just had failing health, but JC was we traveled together for many, many years before we bought the company. And we talked about it later and said, you reckon we were being groomed? And we
Yeah.
really were. And that was one of the requirements was our stores had to still show profit with us not being there. And we would go to stores that were having issues, and he would take over like the cooler piece and do all of that, and I would do the office and the clerical things, and then we would just meet up in the evening and talk about it. But we had to show that we could manage, and that people respected us, and that
Yeah.
we knew how to grow a good group.
Yeah.
And we both did really well at that. But he's doing great now, and
Good.
he's living his best life.
Hopefully he's got hobbies because you need hobbies if you retire. I
He
don't have one.
stays in a hobby. I'm telling you, he is forever. I mean, I thought I married the master of maintenance. My sweet boy he can fix anything. But I'm telling you, JC, he is forever fixing something. Like I just love that about him. He's forever like keeping it working. Like, let's keep this thing working. And
Yeah,
he
when I
was
go
just
visit
great
my
at that.
daughters, they always have a daddy doer. Here I fix these things. I saved these for you.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's no one, I mean, there's not a business for that anymore.
No, to fix things.
Yep.
Well, I've talked about wholesale. I recently went to visit Delaware Valley
Hmm.
and Kremp's Florist up there, and
Hmm.
what they told me the same thing. We have to help our retailers. We have
Yes.
It's our job to help our
Yes.
retailers. We have to help them. We
Hmm.
have to encourage them. We have
Hmm.
to baby them if we have to.
You sure do.
And hold their hands because you need them, obviously, because and there's a lot of attrition in that segment as well.
Of course. Yes.
So and like we've said too, also the business has matured, right? I've said about
Hmm.
Miami, for instance, and all the growers that have been consolidated because they started 25, 30 years ago, and now the same problem. They either have no succession plan or they're saying, you know what,
Yeah.
this is hard. It was fun back then, but now it's hard. I'll sell to somebody. And I think
Hmm.
that's just a natural progression of the maturity of the industry as it grows.
It is.
And look, wholesalers, I've always had this thing called breaking bulk. Somebody
Hmm.
has to break the bulk. Yes, you can
Yeah.
FedEx a box from Bogota all the way to wherever in
Praise the Lord.
you
That's
know, you
right.
can you can do it, okay, and
Uh-huh.
it works. Um, but for the economy of things, you have to break bulk.
Hmm.
You have to bring in 100 boxes, not 10 boxes,
That's right.
or
That's
a
right.
thousand boxes, whatever, and start to break bulk. And wholesalers are that medium in the middle there. Of, I don't know if it's a middleman or not, but you're the
Hmm.
one that's going to make that commitment to buy the flowers, to have them in your cooler, um,
Hmm.
and put them on display or however you display them. But
Hmm.
that's a commitment you have to make because the retailer is not, he wants to come in and buy a bunch of this and a bunch of that and a bunch of this. So
Hmm.
it makes sense that wholesalers have a
Absolutely.
very important role in the world here.
Absolutely. And going back to your point about the retailers, large or small, like I've had customers and I love to tell the stories of, they were by trade a dental hygienist and they had a mind changing. They were like, I think I want to do a flower shop. And then here in the state of Louisiana, you had to have a
You have to have a
license.
license. It's the only place.
But no more, no more. That ended.
Oh, you don't
I
have to
want to
do it?
say, I want to say January 1 year ago.
Oh,
Yes, it
really?
was changed. You don't have to. Interestingly, when you had to have the license, your competition was was the one that was like grading you. And I can remember back in the day when, I mean, you never showed mechanics. Oh my
No.
God. I mean, that's why we had green vases. You can't see the foam. And then you had people that were like, oh, this is neat. Let's show the wire or let's show the stem. And there's lots of things. And so to me, I think you have to, as a wholesaler, I think in the sweetest way I can say it, I'm in business to stay in business. And with that being said, meaning if someone decides to go be a flower shop, I mean, we run a special for that. Look, if you want to go be a flower shop, great. I'll give you a percentage off of your bulk order. You're going to need 20 cases of vases, all your whole setup. I'll help
Mm,
you with that. And we'll do that without any problem whatsoever. At the same time, I think you have all of your kind of your legend people that feel you have to have a storefront and you have and I agree with that to an extent because in order to grow the business, I mean, you have to start somewhere. I mean, you
yeah,
didn't start here,
no.
obviously. I didn't start here, obviously. And so it's like I think harvesting the good out of each of those things, you can come with a sense of, hey, I'm here to help you in the best way that I can. Um, why are you, you as a retailer, that's how your Trader Joe's and I mean, sometimes your Walgreens even came into existence. I mean, people need flowers and they don't want to pay much for them. And I got that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, please don't talk to me about overhead because I'm going to win this conversation. So I feel like at the end of the day, we have to stay in the game, be our best self, and know that, okay, retailer that has been here for 50 years. I am so grateful for you, and I am so grateful for our partnership in these 50 years. At the same time, who are you training to come in and take over the company? We want to talk to them too. How can
Yeah.
we help you do that? And then my girl who was a hygienist, who is a flower shop, and like she started in a flower truck. She actually started in the back of her SUV making arrangements. And you would hear flower shops come in, well, who is that? And why is this? And it's like they're starting, they're
Yeah.
starting. Thank God that they're in the business.
Thank the
This
new
is how
company
we grow.
starting. Yeah.
This is how we grow. Yes. And so I don't like to I don't really like to chew the fat, or I call it beer on Friday night. It's just a gripe kind of, about well this and that. And but we all started somewhere. And if we can really harvest the good here, I think that's the passion of our business. I mean, we work with perishables. You're perishable, I'm perishable. Flowers create a feeling, they solve a problem. We are we're in the game, and as long as we stay passionate about it and it doesn't become a we're chasing the dollar, or what about this margin and why aren't we doing this, and if it consumes us like that, I think then it's time to get out.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Well, Miss Ellis, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I told you 20 minutes would go
I
really
did
quick.
too.
It goes
Thank
fast.
you.
It goes fast, but it's
Yeah.
really important to me to have Carlstedt representative in my archive of that's
Thank
sort of
you.
what I'm doing here. I'm trying to archive this stuff because someday you and I won't be around to do this, so I'm happy to have it done now.
Thank
And I wish
you.
you tons of luck, and I'm happy to see you around. And it was good to see your whole crew in Miami, and I hope to see you around this
Thank
this
you.
year.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you
All right.
so much. We'll be talking soon.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much. Have a
Have a
great
good
day.
one.
Bye now.
You too.